And if you'd like for one of our prayer friends to stand with you in prayer. But for now, it's 10:22. That was music done by Shante Hart titled Right. And we are currently live on our Facebook and also on our YouTube channel as I'm joined by Yolanda Radu, who is a violence against women prevention specialist from UN Women South Africa multi-country office. And we are just conversing with regards to this year's theme about International Women's Day, which is this coming Friday on the 8th of March. Yolanda, good morning. Thank you so much for your time. How are you doing?
Good morning, Sakhe. Good and you.
I am fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Now, Yolanda, I want us to jump right straight into it. What is the theme for this year's International Women's Day, which we commemorate this coming Friday, the 8th of March?
So this year's theme is Accelerate Progress, Invest in Women. And as you may know, we have 17 sustainable development goals that have been recognized. And these are goals that we are working towards to end poverty, protect the planet, and ensure that by 2030, all people enjoy peace and prosperity. And one of
Mm,
these sustainable development goals is goal number 5, which relates to gender equality. And so, in recent reviews, what we have found out is that we are lagging behind in terms of realization of that sustainable development goal. And so,
mm,
if we are to achieve that by 2030, we have to accelerate our efforts towards achieving these SDGs. And so, one of the ways in which we accelerate this progress is by investing in women. And so, this year's theme recognizes that investing in women is not only a moral or a human rights issue, but that it is something that has positive benefits economically and also at societal level.
yeah, yeah. Now, you have quite an interesting title, Sis Yolanda. Talk us about your role as a violence against women prevention specialist. What do you get down to on a normal day at the office?
So UN Women has invested quite a lot into trying to identify interventions that work towards preventing violence against women and girls. And so,
Mm,
as the South Africa multi-country office, what we do is to offer support towards the implementation of the National Strategic Plan on Gender-Based Violence and Femicide, which you all know that in South Africa we have alarming levels of violence
mm,
against women and femicide. And so my role within the South Africa office is to support implementation of prevention programs that are aimed at addressing some of those root causes that we know are the drivers of violence against women and children. So, for
mm,
example, we know that one of the known causes of violence against women and children are the societal beliefs that we have, the norms that we hold as society, the attitudes that we have as society. And so part of our intervention programs is to work within communities to try and to address and change some of those harmful beliefs, attitudes, and norms that society holds. So, as an example, in the previous years, for example, we've worked with religious leaders and
mm,
for them to act as champions and advocates towards gender equality and also addressing violence against women. And we have seen this working in the communities that we've been working in that these traditional leaders, religious leaders, faith leaders have actually been now been using their platforms within their communities, within the people that they lead, in terms of just beginning to have those conversations around those harmful norms, those harmful beliefs that we have seen are the root causes of violence against women.
yeah, sure. Now, in keeping with the theme of accelerate progress, invest in women, statistics indicate that financial investment in women remains alarmingly low. How can we change this, Yolanda?
So that's quite true that we have a deficit globally of about 316 billion actually that is required towards achieving gender equality. And there is a lot that can be done, both from all sectors, including the public sector, including the private sector. So, for
Mm.
example, when we look at the public sector, we are
Yeah.
looking not only in terms of them increasing the financial investment towards gender equality, but we're also looking at the effective use of public finances towards gender equality. So, for example, we have made calls to governments to undertake gender responsive budgeting. So here we
Yeah.
are not looking, for example, at separate budgets for women, but rather what we are looking at is that when they conceptualize public spending of public finances, they seek to ensure that the collection and allocation of those public resources is carried out in a way that advances gender equality by taking into account the needs of women and girls. And so we are talking about investment, for example, in health, investment in education, investment into women businesses. And from the private sector, what we are looking for example, is investment into inclusive workplaces that allow women to be able to participate in the economy. So we
Mm.
are looking at investments that allow mothers, for example, to be able to work. So things like flexible hours, the ability to work from home, um, and other programs and interventions that make sure that, for example, women are not punished for childbearing, or that for the unpaid care work that women carry a
Mm.
disproportionate burden.
Yeah. I'm sorry, did I Hi, are you still there?
I'm still here, Sakhe.
Right. All right. Fantastic. Thank you so much for that. Now, with regards to the stats, SS Yolanda, would we be able to perhaps turn the tide, by starting the investment rather process quite early and investing in young girls?
We would definitely, because if you look within our countries, we have quite a significant proportion of our population being young people. And by investing in young girls, it not only makes sense because they obviously are the future adults, but
Mm.
evidence has shown that when we invest, for example, in young girls, we have greater positive outcomes. So, for example, when we invest in keeping girls in school, that cascades into other aspects towards poverty eradication. For example, it increases their chances to enter into formal employment. It increases their chances, for example, to start their own businesses. So it is quite prudent that in also thinking about investment, we think about investing in young girls.
Yeah, sure. I love that. Now, in what other practical ways, before I let you go, can South Africa invest in its women?
So there's quite a lot, like I said, that we can all do. So this is not only a call to the public sector, to the private sector, but even you and I have a role to play at community level, for example, by supporting women-owned businesses,
Mm.
um, at the public and the private level, by also investing in women entrepreneurs and making sure that women have access to financing that they require for sustainability of their businesses. So
Yeah.
there is quite a variety, and it is the role of all of us actually to make sure that we invest in women.
Yeah, I'm sure. Sis Yolanda, thank you so much for your time. This has been incredibly insightful. And I pray that, everyone that is listening that has a hand to play will be able to come on board and invest in starting young women and women in South Africa as a whole. Thank you so much for your time and God bless.
Thank you, Sakhe.
Right.